Hey there, Weekly Piano here. So some people have been asking me about a concept called negative harmony. I want to explain it a little bit to you. Negative harmony is basically regular harmony flipped on its head. So if you have a single origin, the harmony extends in two ways from that origin. So um, if you have a major scale up in one direction, that is actually a minor scale in another direction. Let me explain how that works. Let's say you're in C major. So the most grounding interval in C major is a fifth. So that you have your 1 and your 5, right? Now, halfway in between a fifth, there's a note that doesn't exist in the Western scale. It's in between an E and an E flat, is directly halfway between a fifth. So you want to imagine that note and pivot your scale on its head around that note. So instead of you have your 1, you have your whole step, half step, whole step. If you flip it, you start on here, this is your 1, and you're going upside down. It's whole step, half step, whole step. Now it might seem kind of arbitrary, but it actually works in very logical ways, because you have your 1, your major 1, which is the harmony ends up being the 1 to the 5 with the dominant 7 to the 1, right? Now if you flip it on its head, and this is your 1, you have your minor 1, using the major scale with completely upside down intervals, and then you have your that's it. That would be your dominant 7, would be your minor 4 with a major 6, back to 1. Now let me explain why that is. So your major scale is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So if you do the minor scale, if you flip that on its head, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right? So that explains the 1, why that's major that way and minor that way. However, now the 5 is an interesting. You have to discover that in an interesting way. So G dominant 7, right? Let's look at the chords. Let's look at the notes in that, and let's put them as close to this half interval as possible. The quarter tone in between E flat and E as possible, so that we can then flip them around. So your G, if you reverse it on this axis, becomes a C, right? We already know that, because I like to look at it as a minor third away from E, so then it has to be a minor third. It's a minor third up from E, so it needs to be a minor third down from E flat. So it's a C now, right? So that G's gone, we have a C. This note, the F, is a whole step away from, it's a half step away from E, so it needs to be a half step away from E flat, right? So you have this note, the D. Now, the D reverses itself now to be an F again. Okay, so we have now these 3 notes. However, this, which is the note that leads up to C in the regular right side up scale, now it's going to be leading down. So if you look at the interval, it's a major third away from E flat. So now you want to do a major third away from E in the opposite direction, which that consequently is an F minor with the natural 6. Which is quite interesting, because it's here, now it's the minor leading up to the minor. So it's a minor in this certain way leading up to the minor 1, rather than the dominant in the major in a certain way leading down to a major 1. Everything is exactly reversed. You can even go further to look at where the tritone sits if you want to lock this in your brain even more. So that's your major scale. This is the tritone. The tritone is the strongest pulling force in any key. It's the 3 and the dominant 7 leading to the 1 and the 3 the 3 and the dominant 7 of the dominant leading to the 1 and the 3 of the tonic. Right? Any key, it's like that. That's always in major the strongest leading tone. Now, when we reversed it, the strong leading tones, the tritone, became this, the minor 3 and the major 6 and the 1. And I say minor 3 and major 6, and that's thinking of it right side up. Because actually, if you look at it upside down, it's I won't explain it that way. It's just it's the minor 3 and the major 6 if you look at it right side up, leading to the 5 and the minor 3 upside down. That's the better way of showing it actually. So if you have I'm trying not to explain it too confusingly, but that's essentially your dominant, but it's your subdominant leading up to your tonic, your minor tonic. And these are the leading tones rather than these being the leading tones. Anyway, let me know if that makes any sense, and if you have any questions. I hope it's not too confusing. Maybe I should even go a little further. Like, let's say a 2 to the 5 to the 1, okay? So you have, let's just do it in triads. There's your triad for the 2, okay, of C. So you have your dominant 2. So now let's reverse this. I'm reversing around this note, so that's half step, this is half step. So there, it's a whole step away upwards, so now go a whole step downwards, and this is a 4th away upwards, so now 4th downwards. So do you see how that is downwards exactly the same intervals from G now as D is exactly the same interval upwards from C. So this is the reverse harmony, if you're in C, of this. So the equivalent of this to this would be, if you actually reversed it, would be this to, so that to that would be this to this, right? Is that right? I'm sorry, no, that's not right. Okay, let me correct myself. I'm trying to shortcut here for the purposes of time, but let's actually do the math on it. Okay? There's your essential, there's the opposite of that. But now let's do the actual opposite of this. So, this tone is a fifth away from E, so now let's be a fifth down from there, so it'd be this, right? And this is a half step away from E, so a half step away from E flat, and this is a half step away from E flat, so a half step away from E. Oh, okay, so I guess that is right. That makes more sense. And then that's the final one. Oh, that's why I was wrong in the first. It's minor. It's not. I'm dumb. I'm sorry, everybody. That's why, because this interval is a major third, so this interval should have been a major third. Because it's actually flipped on its head. So that's the upside down of. Okay, sorry to any of you who are watching who are already experts in this. I'm relatively new to practicing the concept. But do you see how that works? That is exactly flipped on its head if you flip it around this mid-interval here to that. Every note that's going up here is going down here. And it's flipped around that center axis. So I hope that helps you understand reverse harmony a little bit. And let me know if you need any other help with